Hi everyone, this is Brian with Anderson Pens, and today we're going to take a look at the brand new Wahl-Eversharp Signature Series pens. Let's take a look. All right, so here we have part of the lineup of the new Wahl-Eversharp Signature Series. This pen follows the Deco band, which we'll talk about in a minute, and we'll show comparison. This is a little bit smaller of a pen, but effectively was the same size as the oversized Wahl of its day back in the 30s. So a nice pen, and it comes in a number of different versions. I've got here the black ebonite with gold trim, the rosewood ebonite with gold trim. I've got the Amalfi Blue with rhodium trim, the Positano Blue with gold trim, my personal favorite, the Jade with the rhodium trim, and then there's a red black with gold trim. Now all these pens are available in gold or rhodium trim, and nib matches the hardware, so you can get this one in rhodium, you can get the Amalfi in gold trim, you can get the Jade in gold, etc. So there's also a yellow black, and it's just a nice lineup of colors or something for everyone. So let's take a look at it. We've got a little bit different design. I'm going to bring out the Deco band so we can see the difference here. I'll just put this one in the middle. And you can see the Deco band is obviously much larger. The Signature now has more of a military style clip. We still have the roller clip that we have on the Deco band. Our gold seal moves down further on the barrel, a little bit different cap bands. And in other words, we've got a flat top, but much, much smaller in size and girth. So we'll come back to this big guy in a minute. But let's take one of these apart and take a look at it. Okay, so let's take a look. The Jade here, which is very similar to the Positano, really a lot of depth in this material. It's just gorgeous. I really, really love it. So we've got a flat top pen. We've got nice black accents on the end here. The rhodium trim, we already talked, it's got a roller clip here, so sliding it into your pocket makes it a little bit easier. The Wahl-Eversharp double check, and this nice new kind of a frosted and polished cap band. Really, really nice looking, the external size. There it is in my hand. We'll see more when I write with it later, but really nice. Screw cap, of course. Take that off. Now, we've got a black section here. We've got this trim ring, which balances nicely down here. And the nibs on the Signature Series are all 18 karat. So unlike the Deco band, which has a super flex nib, this particular pen, fairly firm, maybe a little bit of springiness, but not really intended to be super flex like the Deco band. On the bottom here, made in USA. So this entire pen, except for the nib, is made and assembled in the United States. So the nib is made in Germany, but the rest of the pen is the acrylic, the turning, everything is done in the US, which is kind of cool. This pen unscrews here. Take the barrel off. And a unique system here. This is basically a converter, but it's permanently attached. It doesn't come out, you can't use cartridges. It's one solid piece leading up to the section. Very solid construction, just standard piston converter with a long, long ink window. So you can always see how much ink you've got. Really nice construction, it turns nice and smooth. Pretty nice. Looking down here, these pens come with an ebonite feed. So that's going to flow real nice. And they come standard with kind of a medium fine nib. We'll see that when we write with it. But in other words, screw on barrel. We've got a brass insert in there, of course. And this pen's got some nice weight to it. In the hand, unposted, very comfortable length. Nice section. These threads are further back, and even if you hold it back, they're not sharp at all. We've got a little bit of a rest here, turn up at the end of the section. Really nice. I like the simplicity of the nib. It uses kind of an old style Wahl-Eversharp logo on the nib. And again, it's an 18 karat nib. And the pen does post. It's fairly large posted, so if you have really large hands, this'll be just fine. If your hands are a little bit smaller, it might be a little bit back heavy. But I personally probably would use the pen on posted. It's a nice length. So let's take a look at the gold trim version. Just see the difference real quick. I'll grab the rosewood, which is always a popular choice. So it's rosewood ebonite, and this time we get the Wahl-Eversharp gold seal nib in gold instead of the rhodium. So all the trim then, of course, is gold. This part, of course, remains steel colored on the inside. And again, you can get, unlike the Deco Band version of the rosewood, you can get the Signature Series rosewood in rhodium trim if you so desire. I personally think the gold trim works best on this pen. It looks nice, but the rhodium trim looks nice too. So this is what the gold version looks like. Nice looking pen. And again, I really like the simplicity of the nib. It lets the rest of the pen kind of do the talking. So let's do some comparisons, let's do some writing samples, and let's take a further look at this. Okay, so there's my Jade, and I say my because I totally want this pen. I've got the Positano Deco Band here, and you can see how big that is. And we're gonna I'll put a King of Pen in there. This is a King of Pen Pro Gear. Put a couple other pens. Of course, I've got a Lamy All-Star, and how about a Vanishing Point? And let's see, I've got 823 here. So you can kind of see it's kind of in that same size lengthwise as a lot of pens you probably know. Actually, very good size compared to this King of Pen. It's a little bit shorter, a little bit less in girth, but really a nice, decent size. You see it's even a hair smaller than the All-Star. So this is really going to be a good pen in the hand. If we take the cap off, let's see how it compares here. Of course, this All-Star's got the cork on there, but give you an idea how this stacks up unposted. And I'll put the big guy over in the corner here. So a little bit longer than the King of Pen, but we're still kind of in the same range as the 823, a little bit shorter than the Vanishing Point. So all in all, I think this is really a very nice size. And I've been waiting for this pen since we heard it was coming out quite a long time ago, over a year ago. So that's kind of your comparison. Let's take it and do a little writing sample. Okay, so I've got an MD Midori pad here. I've got some Aurora Blue Black. I've got the my favorite Jade signature here, inked up. And let's do a quick writing sample here. So it's very smooth. In fact, speaking with Sid Saperstein from Wahl-Eversharp, said this is the smoothest nib they have ever made. It's fairly firm. It's, like I say, it's got a little bit of a bounce to it, but not much. It's really not intended to be flexible. You can see it kind of is a medium. I guess if you use a light pressure, you can maybe get a medium fine out of it. But really a nice smooth nib. Really very enjoyable. Round tipping, so it's same direction either way. I think you're going to like this nib. It's really one of the best 18 karat nibs I think out there right now. It's very enjoyable. So that's the 18 karat signature nib. Okay, so let's do a close-up of some of the other pens. We just take a closer look. Here's the rosewood. This is ebonite, so it's hard rubber. You can see there's varying, each piece of course is unique. So we've got more red here, you know, nice striped ebonite. Really a nice looking pen, nice looking ebonite. Sometimes you get ebonite that's too red or it's too black, it's too dark. This is really, I think, a nice combination. Looks good with the gold trim, got the washer style clip. Really a nice looking pen. Next up, I've got the Positano Blue. And this, like the Jade, very similar type of material. And as you rotate it, you can kind of see some depth there. Almost looks velvety. Dark blue, almost to black in some spots. But as you rotate it, it really catches the light. And this is the gold trim version. Also looks really nice in rhodium. The Amalfi Blue, a very bright, happy blue. It's a little bit different material. This also has some depth to it, but we've got some pieces in here that are a little flatter in color than, say, the Positano, but we've got some of this kind of velvety material in here as well. Really a nice, bright, happy blue. The rhodium trim looks really good on this pen. We've got the black ebonite. Nothing too exciting to see here, just a kind of a classic black with gold trim, but it has that nice warm feeling of ebonite. As it sits in your hand, it's going to warm up a little bit, unlike acrylic. Just a nice shiny black. Now the ebonite pens will fade a little bit if you leave them out in the sun, but all you have to do is just take some polish, microgloss or something like that, and you can polish them up and they'll be nice and black again. And last but not least, one of the more colorful acrylic resins, the red and black. And again, there's a yellow and black version of this. So kind of a multi-shade red with these black swirls laced in the pen. This one looks great in gold and rhodium. So if you like a little bit brighter, more colorful pen, this will do it without being too flashy. So there you have it, the Wahl-Eversharp Signature Series pens. Be sure to check us out online at andersonpens.com or our stores in Appleton and Chicago. Thanks for watching.